I really dig it. But so one of the other things I wanted to get, actually, Io has a good comment in here, and I wanted to
Yeah.
get your thoughts. Just want to respect Jeff Jarrett. If he wants to be in the Owen Cup to honor no biggie, that was his best friend. So there are people shitting on the idea of the fact that Jeff Jarrett's in the Owen Cup because he is not a contender for the title. So in sports context, I get that. However, the only guy in that company specifically that has a legitimate connection to Owen Hart next and Christian Cage and Edge do too, or Adam Copeland, sorry,
But not like
because the
Jeff
very
Jarrett.
last match in Owen Hart's career was Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett versus Edge and Christian. Right, that was the night before he died. So, but Jarrett has a connection to Owen. It makes perfect sense that he's in the tournament. Could there have been other bigger name stars? Of course, but this is what they did. But I love the fact that Jarrett's included.
No, I think it had to happen. Like, if you're under the, I'm sorry, if you're under the age of 25 and have no perception of pro wrestling history, I don't listen to your opinion. I just
Yeah.
don't, because you can't understand it. Like, if you weren't a fan in 1999, 25 years ago when Owen Hart died, like we just passed the 25th anniversary, right? And watching one of the most uncomfortable episodes of Raw ever, where you have all these people battling trauma and you're forcing them to be on TV and cut live promos. Jeff Jarrett's I'll never forget how hard it was to watch Jeff Jarrett's promo
Yeah.
and how much pain he was in having watched his best friend die before him.
Yeah.
So if and I think this is one of the most brilliant thing Tony's ever done is you put Jeff in the tournament. He's against the wild card, so he doesn't have to win, right? He can just go and represent that, and he's Jeff Jarrett, so he's going to Memphis the shit out of it, and it'll be entertaining for a segment. And it's great, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. It's absolutely great. And if you don't appreciate history of pro wrestling, I don't take you seriously.
Yeah, same here. I look. You can say whatever you want about Jeff Jarrett's wrestling ability. The guy's in his 50s, and all his matches typically end up being the same way. But you know what? He's entertaining to me. I find him to be a refreshing performer in this day and age because what he does is so much different than what everybody else is doing. I really dig what Jeff Jarrett's doing right now. I'll be honest, in the mid 2000s, I was not digging what Jeff Jarrett was doing. I did not like Jeff Jarrett. I did not like Jeff Jarrett as the TNA champion. I
because
didn't.
it was bad. It was
Yeah,
not good.
it wasn't good, but I like what he's doing right now. And also, like, I am a fan of Jarrett's podcast. That's the only podcast with Conrad I can listen to now is the Jarrett one because I feel like Jarrett tells the truth, which is a difficult thing to do when you're on the ad-free show network, and the objective is to lie.
Mm-hmm.
The objective is to create grifting opinions that you don't really have in order to get clicks and ad revenue and subscriptions. Well, Jeff Jarrett, because of his sobriety, and I have that in common with him, he doesn't have that in him, so he doesn't do it. Even though at times Conrad tries to push him in that direction, you can tell that he just doesn't want to go in that direction. So, well, on his podcast, he said that he had PTSD because of that. And I totally get it. I understand it. I completely get it. So if this is a healing moment for him, more power to him, and God bless you, Tony Khan, for doing that. So what do you think about the rest of the tournament bracket, man?
It's okay. I mean, like, I know people had like higher aspirations of it, and unfortunately, a lot of these Owens never quite are as good as we hoped. I mean, you have Daniel Bryan, Jesus Christ. You have Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi in the first round. I thought that was pretty cool. Pac and Claudio, that was a really good match last night. Like, it's fine. I wish these were bigger. I wish these were 16-man brackets instead of 8-man brackets. I think you could have some freedom to do some more stuff. I saw, like, not to pick on Zach Hadorn, but he was like real upset that like Moxley's on a tournament. Like, well, Moxley's the IWGP champion right now, man. He's kind of busy. He was like, what about Ospreay? I said, Ospreay's got the shot. Why is he in a tournament for a shot at the title when he's already got the shot at the title? What sense does that make? I mean, Okada would have been fine if Okada was.
Okada, and I think Okada and Joe probably should have been in the tournament. That would make it, and MJF as well.
Okay, MJF hasn't been in the company for 6 months. He had his first match last night, so I can get on board with not using him in a sports sense.
Well, but he's still the former world champion.
I'm with you on that, but I mean,
if they would have added him, I think that just star power alone would have added an element. But I'm looking at the brackets. And it's very much like these guys are all going to have really good matches. You know what I mean? And I think it's very much designed for Bryan Danielson to get the victory and then head to All In, like kind of not his swan song, because I do think he's going to be there for the Tacoma Dome show coming up later this year, but it's probably going to be his last opportunity at the AEW World Championship as he heads off into the sunset for a while.
Do you have him win it?
I have Bryan Danielson winning it. Yeah, who else could win it?
No, I mean, okay, no, that's what I meant. Let's say Bryan wins the Owen, right? And he gets the shot at All In. Do you have him win it? Do you have Bryan win the title?
If you have him win the title and he agrees to drop it back to Swerve and Tacoma, yeah.
I think that's what you do too.
Yeah. I think that makes Swerve a bigger star.
I do too.
Yeah. And I think it elevates that title to be even more important because you have one of the greatest wrestlers of all time on your list of world champions. I think that means something. And so I don't think losing to Danielson at Wembley hurts Swerve's momentum. I think that he's going to go in and kill it with Will Ospreay coming up. I see him winning that match. And then heading into All In, I think, yeah, if Danielson sticks around a little bit longer and he's willing to put over Swerve in Tacoma, I think that's the move.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting you can do right now, because I do think you could have a moment with Danielson winning in Wembley, right? I think Danielson could be a nice draw with making sure you get asses in the seats in Wembley, which it's not a big problem yet, but I mean, like, I think they're tapped out at 40 right now, so you like 40-ish, so you need to get another 30,000 people in that arena. Right. So I think having Bryan Danielson's last hurrah or Bryan Danielson's last triumphant run at the title and having him win in front of that crowd would do something. And then in Washington, both their home states, you having Danielson pass a torch, so to say, to Swerve, I think would be a great thing. That's what if I'm booking, which I'm not, I'd do that.
Yeah. I think that's the smart money. And then I do like the idea of Will Ospreay and MJF in the co-main position there. I mean, you could even have them headlining if you wanted to. You can have one open the show and the other one headlining if you wanted. But I do like that matchup, and they teased it last night on Dynamite.
So here's the thing, though. So we got set up. Yeah, exactly. We got the setup in Dynamite. I think Ospreay MJF is probably your B match. You're not, I keep saying a B match, but your 1A match for the show, because that's the other big match the company can offer right now. And then you can set stuff up for the future. I think that we still got some good matches possibility in this company we haven't seen yet. I mean, like the talent in this company is an embarrassment of riches. We just need to get things moving. I think story wise, again, undercard stuff really doesn't matter all that much. But I mean, I think for main event stuff, I think we're moving in a good position in the company.
Yeah, because I felt like Swerve was a bit cold after he won that title, and I didn't think that Christian Cage was a good first opponent, but they were able to heat it. I'm going to get to the comment. Don't worry about it. I didn't think that Christian Cage was a good first opponent, but they ended up making me interested in the feud heading into the match. And I think coming out of it, Swerve has been has looked like a much bigger star. And I felt like his promo this week on Dynamite has been really helpful to him. And then getting a win over Ospreay at Forbidden Door would be awesome. And then now Ospreay, has a setback and he sets his sights on Wembley next year. Now, I don't know that there's going to be a Wembley next year. He might have his sights set on Wembley Arena next year, not Wembley Stadium.
Tony Khan is going to want to put people in that seat in Wembley to prove himself. And if there's one thing I'd say about billionaires, it's that they will swing their wang until they prove that they know better than you. So I think we got at least one more year at Wembley Stadium, not Wembley Arena.